Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our first edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars Live Feed spoilers for the day. The veto ceremony, it hasn't started at the time of this recording. It may have already happened at the time you're watching this. It's hard to say with that sort of stuff, but this is what I can say for sure. I have had, I'm surprised as anyone to be saying this, I have had more fun watching the feeds this morning than I've probably had in like the past week combined. There is a high level of clownery going on the feeds at this moment.
So much nonsense this morning.
It is in between Enzo trying to hide from Christmas and Christmas trying to strong arm Nicole into something and Nicole basically becoming like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, depending on who she is talking to.
Yep.
The unintentional comedy is just like off the charts. We are going to take you in our clown car on a journey. Actually, I think Memphis may be driving the clown car based on some of what we've seen this morning,
Yeah.
and we are all in the backseat together.
That's
but
right.
Before we get into any of this clownery, if you guys do like this video, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, hit that notification bell for more, and also support us further. Check those links to the store as well as our Patreon.
Also, we have our first review that we've done of Lovecraft up here at the channel. So if you're watching that, come and watch that with us as well. We also have Dancing with the Stars coming up tonight, so we'll have that up after the episode. And this week we also have Bachelorette coming up tomorrow night, so we will have videos for that. And
The Amazing Race, which
that's a drum roll. The Amazing Race! Yes, we are so excited. It's been a long time. We've all been waiting for this to come back. It is Wednesday. We will also have videos for that. So busy week if you're a reality fan.
And a busy day in the house so far. So
Yes.
What is going to happen at the veto ceremony? Has any of the craziness today changed anything?
No, I don't think so. Nicole's not going to change anything. She is where she is. She'll complain about it and she'll be nervous about it, but she's not going to change anything. And Christmas really is trying her best to strong arm her into using that veto, but Nicole is not going to use the veto.
This is the thing. It's like we're coming on and recording this like right in the middle of Christmas having what feels like her 300th conversation with Nicole over the past 24 hours.
It sort of feels like she thinks that if she can sort of pester her enough that eventually Nicole will see the light, but she just doesn't really understand how close she is to Cody.
Nicole's head's gonna straight up explode if they don't do this veto ceremony soon. Like, I kind of feel like Crodner is somewhere in a production office, like, intentionally delaying this for as long as possible just to drive Nicole crazy, because she just wants to rip the Band-Aid off. She just wants to do the veto ceremony, not use it, keep Memphis and Christmas up there, and then she can deal with the aftermath.
Yeah, and I'm actually starting to think that there might be some aftermath, because originally I was feeling like, you know, everything with Nicole and Christmas, they're kind of figuring out some footing here, that they both talked and sort of wanted to take each other to the end, and then they were talking separately to us, the cameras, and sort of said that that is what they're kind of feeling. So Christmas should be feeling a little more comfortable than she is, but she's not. And in this situation where Christmas is just like pestering her, Nicole needs to do a better job right now of just settling her down and just saying, listen, you're not the target. You're going to stay up on the block. The target is Memphis. It is not Cody. It is Memphis. It is just not you. So as long as it's not you, you shouldn't care.
This is where Nicole is making just a huge mountain out of a molehill with all of this. Because if she was just to say, you know, I don't think I'm changing the nominations, it's not going to happen, at least Christmas can settle down with that. She might still be upset that she's on the block. She might be upset there's still a chance she could be evicted. But I think the problem is Nicole is basically just like dancing around the topic as to whether or not she's going to use the veto. And she just keeps being like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. And, you know, I really think that Memphis is the target. Like, she's not using strong enough vocabulary on Christmas, who still is just like, if Cody survives this week, he will win this game. None of us have any chance of winning this game, which, you know, Christmas actually really isn't that wrong, but still.
That has passed. Cody is winning this game. Nobody is taking him out. I think if they didn't get him out in the triple, like, no one's getting him out. Nobody's looking at him except for Christmas, who's on the block.
this is why we're all clowns at this situation, because who would think that Christmas, I swear on CrossFit Abbott, would be the person who is speaking the truth, in that she sees the tea leaves for what they are, and that Cody is going to win this game, and this is the chance. And I think she can't comprehend why Nicole is like hesitant, or why Nicole is saying to her things like, I'm really worried about Memphis too. Memphis is a beast. Memphis can win at the end. Like, if Memphis is a beast, then Cody is like a Godzilla that is like towering over the beast.
Absolutely, but Nicole's not wrong. Memphis can win this game. He has won a ton of comps, so he is somebody for Nicole to also be worried about. Yeah. And Christmas should also be worried about him, because she will lose to Memphis.
I think a big part of the issue here altogether is just there's no clear communication between Nicole and Christmas.
No.
A lot of it is intentional. Nicole, she's very dead set, and she talked with Cody about this before the latest Christmas and Nicole fiasco conversation happened, where she was just very much like, I really need to make sure that Christmas and Memphis don't understand that I'm really close to you and Enzo, and she really wants to keep this like 3-person group a secret. I don't know how in the world it is a secret, and as aware as Christmas may be that Cody is a huge target, like, I don't know why she's either like in denial that they're close, or she's just choosing to not accept it.
Yeah, and I don't really understand at this point why Nicole is so worried about the three of them working together being exposed. It's 3-2, and one of them is leaving. So, I mean, unless the person who's left wins this next veto, like, no, it doesn't matter if this is exposed. Like, there's only 5 people left, Nicole. Like, everything doesn't need to be sneaky secrets at this point.
This is the only scenario I think it might have like a 5% impact, is what if Cody wins the next HOH? Let's say Christmas wins the veto, and I don't know that configuration, and then Christmas is like, oh, Nicole, you lied to me about how close. But we're talking like, what are the odds that Christmas is winning the Final Four veto and Cody is winning that HOH?
And even if Christmas ends up winning that, I do think that she's aware that she needs to bring Nicole, and Enzo is toast.
I would. That's why I don't even think it would have that big of an impact on anything. But as funny as the Christmas and Nicole stuff is right now, where Christmas is getting very, very close. I'm almost getting this feel from her that sort of like, if you don't do what I want right now, I will never want to work with you again. Like, that's what it almost feels like.
And people are getting really over it. Enzo is like hiding out from her. He's like using the diary to get away from Christmas. Christmas is hounding him, following him around. He's gone up to the HOH room to try to hide out, and can see her like coming up the stairs, and he's freaking out, and he's like, I gotta get out of here. And Nicole's like, don't leave me. So like it's getting really tense. Nicole, you just need to settle her down. Just tell her she's safe, that she's staying on the block, but she's safe, and be done with it. It would stop a lot of this.
I kind of don't want it to stop now, to be honest. Like, I love watching Enzo try to play hide and go seek while Christmas runs around the house and is like, you're keeping me if I stay on the block, right? Enzo's like, yo, that's it. I'm keeping you. I'm not getting rid of you. Like, Enzo actually doesn't really want Christmas to stay, but he's tried to lie with the best conviction possible to her. Enzo... You know how Enzo talked about wanting that like 80-inch TV or what? Enzo deserves an 80-inch TV after having to deal with Christmas pestering him the past 48 hours.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is all still so funny to me. And the part of this that makes it even funnier is even before the Christmas and Nicole stuff this morning, Nicole and Cody were having this sort of conversation, and Nicole in this conversation, she is like feeling herself to the max. She's just like, I'm playing such a good game. Like, if only these people knew what I was doing, what I was capable of, and like, she has this mentality. Then Cody leaves, then Christmas comes in, and then immediately Nicole is like, I don't know. What am I gonna... It is like she flipped that switch so fast.
And that is why Nicole is a good player. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are not Nicole fans. I am not a fan of Nicole in general, but I can't deny that she knows how to manipulate people in this house depending on who she's talking to. If she needs to feel herself a little bit and be like, man, I'm doing a good job, and Cody, is feeding into that, that's the time to do that. Christmas comes in, switch turns off. Oh, I'm so terrible at this game. I'm awful. She needs to play that, so Christmas will take her to the end. This is a gameplay that we have seen before from Nicole and other people, and it works.
Here's something I don't do very much for Cody. I'm going to give Cody some credit here for his social / strategic game, because in this conversation with Nicole, he is totally gassing her up. Like, he is encouraging her, he is hyping her, and he's like cause she said something that I'm kind of surprised she kind of openly admitted, which was that Christmas seems to be viewing the two of them as sort of a possible duo, and it's like, if I am Cody, I'm thinking in the back of my head, oh, why does Christmas think all of a sudden that she and Nicole are so close when she tried to evict Nicole from the game previously?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Nicole was trying to get Cody to basically say that, so that she would lay it out, so that she could kind of make it clear that she is not with Christmas, that if Christmas says something like they're a duo, Cody can be like, oh, I already had this conversation with Nicole. But he didn't take the bait if that's what she was doing, so that she could be like, oh, Christmas kind of thinks we're a duo. So like Cody would say, why does she think that? And Nicole can say, I don't know, because I haven't given her any reason, blah, 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 whatever it is, and lay it out. And that's what I think she was doing, and it just stopped.
Maybe Nicole was playing like 4D chess and Cody was like playing 3D. He didn't get to that next dimension where he didn't figure it out fully.
Or he did, and he's just keeping it to himself, that he doesn't need to hear whatever Nicole's lie is. It just doesn't matter, that if she's putting that out there, then he'll just take that information and go. Because we know from Cody that he plays that he's dumb, and that he's not as dumb as he's playing up to be.
Yeah, like, all of this is setting up for what could actually be a really interesting next few days, because we believe here that Enzo would rather see Christmas be evicted at this point, because I think he knows that Memphis is someone who isn't coming after him immediately, and that's somebody who is also someone who could take out Nicole, and I don't think Enzo is particularly keen on Nicole being there long term. But Cody, it all really lies on whether or not Cody is willing to get rid of Memphis, upset his relationship with Nicole. I don't think he's going to do it, but I'm curious to see what the next few days will bring.
Well, a little bit also I think is going to land on Christmas, because Christmas is acting like pretty crazy right now, running around the house, pestering everybody, following people from room to room.
Yeah.
To the point that Enzo was hiding out in the diary room. So if that's happening, other people are starting to feel that pressure too. Everyone has to still live together for a few more weeks. So that's a lot. And if people don't want to deal with Christmas anymore, there's a possibility that after Nicole does not use that veto, that Christmas loses her mind. And then Nicole will change her mind and be like, you know what, Enzo, I'm on board with you. You want to get rid of Christmas? Let's all get rid of Christmas. I can't take it anymore. Because she can only handle so much. Nicole can only handle so much.
That is a distinct possibility that I did not think of. What if Christmas gets so unbelievably bitter at Nicole for not using the veto that she starts like openly gunning for Nicole, and then Nicole suddenly is like, I want Christmas. Like, that's not impossible.
It's just the paranoia is already so high with Christmas, and nothing's even happened yet.
And here is Memphis in all of this at the moment. And, Memphis has done some campaigning. Like, he went up there today and he was just like, just checking in again. We can have a final 3 deal, Nicole. I won't eliminate you if I win the final 4 veto.
Final 3 is such a garbage deal, and he's offered this to her already.
Yeah.
And if I was her, I wouldn't take that either. Like, you're in the final 5, so what is he really offering her? It's nothing.
Can we talk about Memphis saying, I'm confident if I'm up on the block, I got the votes. Like, Memphis, if you legitimately believe this right now, we're going to give you the clown car. Like, you're going to drive out of the house with this thing.
The other thing about this final 3 deal that Memphis keeps offering Nicole, I'd be really worried who the other sort of person is that Memphis feels is his number 1, because it's not Christmas. She's on the block.
Yeah.
And it's not Nicole, because he's offering her final 3. So who is it? Is it Enzo or is it Cody that is the final two? And I'm kind of surprised she's not thinking more about that and being like, maybe I do need to sort of clip one of these guys because one of them apparently is working with Memphis.
Yeah, like she should be thinking about all of this fully, and maybe she is. Maybe that's a part of why she wants to get rid of Memphis, because it does limit the other guys' options to some degree. Because I think Nicole is pretty good versus Memphis in the end. I don't think it's a guaranteed win by any means. Memphis has won a lot, but I think she at least has a chance.
The thing that I'm just the most worried for Nicole of anybody that she's up against is just, does the jury want there to be a two-time winner at all? And that it may not really have anything to do with Nicole's game, but because they can poke holes in Nicole's game, they can make that choice to not give anyone the title of two-time winner, because that is the first time in 22 seasons that anyone has won twice. I just don't know if they want to give it to anyone.
Memphis did even kind of say this earlier. He did kind of basically be like, being a two-time winner, it may hurt your game a little bit. Like, he tried to say to Nicole that, he may want to take her over Christmas to the end because people may not, like, Nicole was so offended after the fact that Memphis even suggested such a notion to her. Like, it was that this has been such a funny morning.
Yeah.
It really has been. I'm gonna close here with a little bit of maybe a scorching hot take.
All right, here we go.
I've thought a lot about all of this.
Scorching hot. All right, here we go.
At this point, if I'm just talking about winning the final three veto, final three HOH. I'm not so much talking about chances to win versus the end. I am actually more worried about Nicole winning the final HOH than I am anybody else in the game, and this is why. I said at the start of this season, people got mad at me. I was like, I would go after Nicole right away. She would have been my first target because she has been studying like a madman. There's a good chance that third part of the final HOH will be memory-based.
Yes.
She's probably going to win that. Usually the final four veto, a certain point of that is very memory-based. Like, Cody is the bigger threat to win, but I think Nicole is the bigger threat to win these competitions, which why we go back to Christmas. She's really not wrong that if these people were playing to win, you get rid of Cody now. You get rid of Nicole at the Final Four if you have an opportunity. Because if you can go to the Final Three with Enzo and Memphis, if you're Christmas or whatever else, at least then you don't have anyone who's like a guaranteed win in that competition.
Yeah, that's true. But that's not going to happen.
I'm writing my fan fiction.
All right. We're going to have a Cody win probably because no one's going to get rid of him.
Well, we'll be back later. We're going to talk about if any more craziness happens before the veto ceremony, after it. This is all very fun at this point. Maybe I'm just losing my mind because we've been dealing with Big Brother 22 for so long.
Yep. We're in the home stretch, guys.
Deep breaths. We're almost there.
Almost there.
What do you think Christmas could be doing other than completely losing it to try to get Nicole to use the veto? What do you want to see happen from here? Share in the comments, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further, check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.